we are not saying here that people are not profiled by race or gender or sex or class and age and so many other things, disability. People are profiled in so many different ways. But what we are saying here is that we want to give you tips for being a good student in spite of your perception of being profiled and in spite of you actually being profiled. And that was why I said, you know, we should clap for her because she has one of the points, persistence. You have to persist, you have to focus, you have to do your work. I remember what one of my students said yesterday, that people were discriminating against her because of class, and whether she persisted and she became a very good student. And it had to draw attention because everybody was coming to her. Please, can you help me with this math problem? Please, can you help me with this? Or can you help me with that? We're not saying, you know, that profiling, I mean, that's the reason for having the word profiling, and that's the reason for what so many people go through. But how do we transcend and say, in spite of, I am surviving?
Well, it's kind of funny because I forgot your name, but our track star had mentioned it earlier about you know, some things you can improve on, like showing up to class all the time. But I mean, show of hands, we're halfway through the semester or more than that. Does anyone have a perfect attendance for classes? Good on you, because yeah, not a lot of people on campus, myself included.
They all stop to come around class too.
It's different for us, you know, because in things like high school and middle school, you'd actually have truant officers or someone who would really, you know, keep track of this. And in college, it's different because it's more freedom. For a lot of us, it's the first time outside of our parents' house, doing things on our own. Kind of figure we're a little less accountable for things. So, I mean, it's not hard to see why we do a lot of this stuff because it's, you know, just us learning and living. And, you know, for a lot of us, we're not really taught to do otherwise. I mean, you know, of course they'll say, show up to class, it's good for you, you know, get your grades, certainly won't suffer from it for having to pay for this class and get a bad one. But at the same time, it's not really enforced, and, you know, that's kind of the problem. I had one teacher who actually had a rule that was you can have 3 absences, anyone after that, letter drop in grade. And, you know, it's just, it's kind of meeting halfway. It's like the students have to do their job, but at the same time, it really helps when the teacher can enforce things like that. Kind of helps give us, you know, a little more guidance and actually more discipline, which a lot of us clearly lack sometimes.
I just wanted to say, I'm profiled as the old lady, you know, the old fart in the front of the room that keeps asking questions. And in some of the other classes I've taken, I've been profiled as the white lady in class that asks a lot of questions, being a social work student, and going out in a lot of different areas that I had to go out into. But what I was going to say, I have always tried to, I'm graduating this year and I'm working on my master's also in social work. But what I try to do as a good student is try to go one-on-one with the instructor and let them know me as a student. And if I feel, you know, animosity between myself and the instructor, I use those office hours. They're there for me. I'm paying for them, and I use them, and I let them know me. You know, I try to get along with everybody around me. You know, I try to know the people that I'm sitting around, so that they can know who I am, not just what I look like. And I think, you know, I know the whole white knapsack thing, you know, but actually, I think people are people. And when you become a real person to someone sitting beside you, I think that they see you as a real person. They see past what you look like, past how old you are, past, you know, what you've got on, or whatever. It's my turn.
We have a comment, and then I just wanted to comment to the young man here about
you know, the accountability on the part of the instructor. Well, this is, I want to share this with everyone in the room. Every faculty person has their own style. So what happened in math class may be very different than what happens, or the expectations that happen in psychology class. Now, it's not my responsibility to tell you to come to class. You're a grown-up. I mean, so once you cross the stage as a high school student, you're an adult. I'm not going to be calling you and wake up, it's time for class. You were paying to come to get a degree. So that responsibility really lands on your shoulders. So, I mean, if that's what you expect us to do, you're not going to get that from me to drop in. Maybe I should try that. Maybe my class attendance would increase, but I'm not going to do it because that's your responsibility. And my responsibility is to make sure that you do learn a little bit when you finish the class, but I feel like that's your responsibility. And I'm going to treat you as an adult because I respect you as a student. And so if I start dictating to you when you should be in my class, that's not my job. Even with graduate students, I do not do it. So if they don't come to class, that's on them.
My whole thing is with that, like I understand his you know, where he's coming from with that, but my big thing is as far as I would like to know that teachers are going to be teachers, professors are going to be professors. My big problem at, not at this school now, but at my old school, was I had too many PowerPoint teachers that I would come to class and they would have a PowerPoint up there ready to go, and they would sit there and read through that PowerPoint, but that PowerPoint was also available online, and so I was basically paying to teach myself. And so there was nothing that motivated me to want to come to class, because honestly, at the end of the day, I had to read and go over everything myself, you know, all over again. And so I'm actually in Dr. Marche's class, and she motivates me to come back to class. You know, sometimes it's a real relaxed, but at the same time a structured classroom. You know what I'm saying? That's really hard to find. But I've noticed that I've never missed one of Dr. Marche's class because I enjoy coming to it, and she makes me want to come back to it. And so if we have honestly, I think if it is our responsibility to be adults, especially once we graduate high school, and we are the ones paying money to do this. But at the same time, I think that maybe teachers maybe take a vacation, take that 3 months off or whatever in the summertime, because when you come back, we need you guys to be there, you know what I'm saying? Because not everybody's motivated in different ways. Some people are visual, some people are audio, and some people really need hands-on help, you know? And so if you're going to be a professional, you can get paid what you get paid, and we want to know that our money is going somewhere good.
Very good.
I'm very happy that you guys are bringing up that problem of absence from class, because it's a problem in the PSU. We talk about it and we try to use different ways to engage it. We are adults, and I understand what he was trying to say about when you are younger, your parents might phone you and tell you, go do this and do that. But once you're in college, it's different. However, many professors, different professors use different names. Motivate, depending on the nature of the class,